Hi, everybody. Courtney from Schneider's Driver Recruiting here today virtually with April from Driver Recruiting too. We're here today to talk to you a little bit about our team drivers and some of the new updates that we have made, upgrades as well too, and just all the awesome opportunities we have with our teams. So once again, we are live, so if you have any additional questions, definitely ask those in the comments below. Whether they be about teams or anything else, we can definitely answer those for you as well too. So April, I'll let you kind of kick it off, talk a little bit about one of the biggest changes we've had so far with the teams is a pay upgrade, which I think a lot of people are excited to hear about.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, who doesn't want to get more money? I mean, especially with these uncertain times, making sure there's money in the bank account is super important. So, Teams is one of the greatest ways. Right now, we're featuring that for today. But in general, teams make more money right off the bat because those wheels are always turning. That means that the team is making the company more money. Therefore, we can pay the team more money. So recently, what we have done is we did do a increase for teams. Up to a 20% increase actually in pay. So super exciting. Some of the top drivers are now earning up to about $98,000 annually. That's some really big numbers to be making on an annual basis. As far as our annual increases, a lot of drivers ask, okay, say I start, just an example at 50 cents per mile. Well, how long does it take to continue to get those increases? So there is that annual increase of that 1% or 1 penny, per mile increase each year as you get that continued year after year experience with the company. So, definitely a great way to start your careers in teams because you're going to see that pay progression as well. Anything to go off of that, Courtney?
Yeah, absolutely. So it was most recently, it actually went up for about 20% was the increase or the 20% increase that we had earlier in the year, I think mid-January or so. So if you're looking to get on board a team account, you'll definitely be seeing that nice paycheck, which is really fantastic too. To kind of hop off of piggybacking where you're at, teams making the most money right off the bat. They're making the most money because they have the most miles. The truck can constantly be moving, be rolling. Good chunk of teams average anywhere between 5,000 and 6,000 miles in a typical week on average. Which is, like you mentioned before, the wheels are always rolling and turning. And so we get a lot of opportunities to get that cents per mile and, have that increase all the time too. So those are great questions or great statements. We do have some questions coming in as well too. So if you want to ask those in the comments, please feel free to do so. Different opportunities we have as well too. The bigger thing that we added most recently was a guaranteed pay option. So this is really cool, really exciting. So basically how it works is within your first 3 months with Schneider, we will guarantee your pay to be at least $1,000 weekly. So if you are brand new, let's say to truck driving, and you have a little bit of a rough week, you and your teammate don't get as many miles as you would have hoped or anticipated, that's totally okay. Your paycheck, if the minimum pay or your gross pay at the end of the week was less than $1,000, we'll bump it up. So if you got over $1,000, fantastic. That doesn't impact you or anything like that. But if you had a rough week, we're below that amount, you'll have a guaranteed paycheck, which is pretty awesome and pretty cool.
And kind of going off of that as well, Courtney, something talking more once again about the miles is the miles are split between the team. So, say you guys drive 5,000 miles in total as a team, it's split right down the middle, 2,500 for one driver in, miles and 2,500 for the other driver. The way we do it that way is that way you're never sharing that pay. You're simply just splitting those miles. So, if you're a brand new driver and you're starting out at 50 cents per mile, for example, and you have a team partner that has 8-9 years of experience, their cents per mile is going to be way higher because they're getting paid for that Class A experience. So that way, it's the fairest way to do it that you're getting paid for the Class A experience that you're bringing to the table, any Class A experience in the last 10 years. So you're not, if you are with a younger driver and you have more experience, well, darn, now I'm not getting paid as much. No, you're getting paid for what you rightfully are bringing to the table for the company, which is a really nice aspect as well.
Absolutely. Great thing. A lot of questions coming in as well too. Frank has asked, I'm looking to get my CDL the week of February 22nd. does Schneider have any home weekly over-the-road opportunities out of the Massachusetts area or Massachusetts? So great question, Frank, and good luck on getting your Class A license. We have plenty of opportunities, and everything kind of depends on where you live and what's available at the time. So what I would recommend is to go to schneiderjobs.com and type in your zip code. It'll show you anything that you may have available currently, like right now today, or in a couple of weeks when the 22nd hits. So a lot of good options and a lot of good opportunities there if you check it out. So yeah, I was going to say something else too, and I lost my train of thought, but check out schneiderjobs.com on that as well too. So good question. Somebody else did ask, I kind of want to go back to that guaranteed pay program. Is guaranteed pay only for teams? Fantastic question. Currently right now, no, it's not just teams that we're offering it to. We are offering it with other lines of business as well. However, it's not that $1,000. So a couple of other different, some solo accounts, bulk accounts are offering guaranteed pay right now, but just at different values or different amounts. So you're kind of curious as to what that would look like. We do have it within the description of the job, as well as your recruiter can talk to you a little bit more about it as well too. So a lot of different driving opportunities right now for different guaranteed pay too. So very cool. Awesome. A couple more questions coming in. April, I'll let you take the next one.
Yeah, definitely. I see that I read this one. I have to do a shout out. So I see that Alicia said, hi, I'm starting with Schneider next Tuesday. So first of all, thanks for tuning in. That's fantastic. We appreciate all of our viewers. And, good luck on Tuesday. We're so happy to have you aboard. So even getting those shout outs, I know, Courtney, I think you just got a shout out too, putting the face to the name. So yes, we are real recruiters. We do work with drivers here at Schneider. This Facebook Live opportunity is something we enjoy doing, but it's only a small portion of our day. So we are the real people behind the phones. So just to let you guys know that info as well.
Yep, so great questions. A couple others coming in as well too, asking how does the accessorial pay get split between drivers, or if they have that as well. You mentioned, April, the mileage getting split as well too. Do you kind of want to elaborate on that too?
Yeah, I can definitely go into that a little bit. So for example, if both the drivers have hazmat endorsements, there is also that hazmat pay. So if, say, for example, you're the one driving and your team partner is in the back sleeping, you both have those endorsements, you are currently hauling a load that is hazardous and requires those endorsements, you guys get $100. So it's $50 for each driver, whether you're the one driving or not. So kind of considered with that accessorial pay because it's more than just the cents per mile. So we definitely have that. Most of our team accounts are no touch freight. So there isn't necessarily a lot of accessorial. Now, certainly there are some dedicated or some one-offs to that, but overall it is mainly freight of all kinds for team positions that you're not really touching. But at the same time, there are some dedicated, positions that we have as well for team.
Right, absolutely. Great answer to that question. More questions coming in. Sal asked if there's an age requirement to drive for Schneider. Other than, we just asked you to be 21 or older. So you can get your Class A CDL in a lot of states at the age of 18, but then you're restricted to only driving within your state. So with us, because you are going to be traveling most likely out of state, depending on the job that you're doing, being 21 or older allows you to be able to travel outside. So 21 or older, we don't have any cap. I think I saw that real quick. Do you have a cap on anybody? No. As long as you're, wanting to, ready to drive, we'll take you. So apply at schneiderjobs.com, and we can definitely help you out and find something that would fit well for you too. So great question.
And one of the other things I wanted to dive into as well is one of the questions that we get a lot when we're talking about team positions is, hey, I don't have a team partner. Am I even eligible for teams? How does that work? So, if you have a team partner, that is great. You definitely can team with that person as long as both of you are, eligible and hired on successfully with Schneider. But if you're by yourself and you're looking for somebody, do not be discouraged from still, we want you to still consider teams as an option. What we do is we do like a questionnaire to ask you a lot of questions to try to make sure it's going to be a good match. So we're not just throwing two people in a truck and saying, okay, good luck, have fun, because, it's hard enough living with someone in small quarters. So we want to make sure it's going to be a good fit. So some of the questions that we ask, for example, is Would you prefer a male or female team partner? Are you a smoker or non-smoker? So, some of those really big things that become really important when you're spending 18 days at a time in a very small space with somebody. So we definitely do that questionnaire. The other big part that goes into finding you a potential match is also where you live and where your team partner lives. We try as much as possible to find someone that's close to your home location. That way, when you guys are going home for home time, you're parking that truck, you're not commuting, extremely far to then get to your actual home base.
Right.
Sometimes that's not always the case. We do have drivers that have to commute further. In those situations, managers can help with booking a rental car or something like that, that once you park the truck, you can get into that rental and get home. So you're not incurring all of that expense, for drivers potentially living in two different directions. But a big question that we get kind of off of that as well, some drivers say, well, okay, say I get a team partner and Courtney's my team partner and we just don't get along for whatever reason, it doesn't work. In those situations, we ask that you give it that valiant effort, but we understand some people are just not going to get along or it's not going to be the perfect fit. We always can try to find you another team partner. You're not locked in with someone for forever, simply because you decided to try teams.
Absolutely, absolutely. And kind of to piggyback off that as well too, is we have plenty of, you try out the team thing, it's just really not working. And you say, well, I don't really even want a new, team partner. I would rather just go by myself. You can do that too. We have a really awesome transfer program with recruiters that can transfer you internally. So if you're a current driver, you want to transfer into that new account, we have a whole team of recruiters that can do that for you as well too. So another option as well too, if you're thinking about it.
Definitely. And I actually am a transfer recruiter, so I'm in that department. I see many drivers going into teams and drivers going out. So we definitely can help you with either way of that transfer. A lot of drivers ask, how long am I, tied into a position before I can transfer? There is no hard and fast number for that. So, you're not locked in for 6 months before you can transfer. You just have to give us a call and we definitely can work the situation with you. But, you're not tied down for forever because you try something and suddenly realize it's not for you.
Yep. Fantastic. So a lot of good questions coming in. Mikey says, I have my permit. How do I start driving with another person? So Mikey, a couple of questions probably to follow up for you do you already have a plan to get your Class A CDL if you already have your permit? If so, just let us know what that is. If you're enrolled in a truck driving school, going to be enrolled in a truck driving school, or we have other opportunities as well too to help get your Class A through Schneider, whether it be our apprenticeship program or contract training program as well too. That's for a whole nother video, but there are options for you too. So I would highly recommend going on to schneiderjobs.com. And there's filters on the left-hand side, and two of the filters are the apprenticeship program or that contract training program too. So take a look at that, see if it's available in your area, and then give us a call. We can kind of talk about next steps too. So good question. So hopping back to teams, another big thing that you'll see a lot of posted in the headline of a team driving account is sign-on bonuses. So recently, there have been two really big things that have changed with these sign-on bonuses. One, they are a lot higher than you'll see a lot of the other accounts, and two, we're paying it out a little bit differently. So first one is they're much higher. So some of the team accounts, if you're an experienced driver, you're going to earn a $12,000 sign-on bonus coming on, which is, in the time I've been here, April, some of the highest sign-on bonuses.
Definitely. Mm-hmm.
Very fantastic. And we used to pay, or I shouldn't say we used to pay, for a lot of our other accounts, we still pay out in 4 payments over the course of your first month. With these team accounts, we're paying out a little bit differently. So 12 monthly installments after you've been with us for 1 month and 30 days. So if you have a $12,000 sign-on bonus, you're getting an extra $1,000 every month just for being on the team account, which is fantastic and really great too. So that's where some of the experienced drivers, I know inexperienced drivers, I've seen up to $6,000 for sign-on bonuses paid out in the same way too. So a lot of opportunities to really get some big money coming in with driving on a team. So that's awesome. A lot of other questions coming in. April, I'll let you take this one.
Yeah.
How much does Schneider reimburse for tuition?
So we do have a tuition reimbursement program. What you would need to do is talk to your recruiter about that because there are certain documents that do need to be submitted. You do have to be hired on with the company for 30 days before that would kick in. It is $200 a month directly back to you if you paid out of pocket. If you went through with like a loan, we can, for some loan agencies, we actually can give the $200 directly back to the loan agency. So you just kind of have to give your recruiter more details, how you paid, who you paid through, all that types of details. Courtney, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe for teens, it's a higher amount for tuition reimbursement. Can you go into that a little bit more?
You are correct. So April just mentioned $200 a month paid back directly to you. If you got a team account, it's $400 a month.
Yeah.
So whatever you paid out for that schooling, you can get paid back more as you come on board if you're on a team account. So great question there. And that was from Victor asked that question. We have to give a quick shout out. There's a lot of good questions coming in, but our good friend Joseph, who watches us quite a bit, always has fantastic things to say. Awesome driver. Unfortunately, he's got to leave us for a little period of time as part of our military and is doing some really great military stuff. So thank you so much, Joseph, for all your service. Hopefully we can get you come on back when at some point once you're done with that stuff, because being a super rock star, it just has to take a little leave to go take care of that stuff. So hopefully we see you soon and you can still log on, Joseph, and that's why we keep having those because we love having you in the comments. So fantastic shout out to Joseph. All right. Good. Awesome. So many good questions. We haven't even dabbled on half of the things we want to talk about yet. We got a lot of good questions coming in. Ryan is asking, he says he's looking for a new company and has a friend thinking about Schneider, but does have a DOT accident in the last year. So Ryan, that's a great question. A lot of different people come on board with different things on their background. What you have to do is we look at a lot of different things. We'll ask you kind of when and where it happened, and then we'll ask you the details of it, and can you kind of give us a in-depth, look as to what may have happened. From there, depending on that, we might request an accident report if it's something that we might just want to review with our compliance team. But it's not something that right away puts you out of, a criteria. We just need to review things. So I guess long answer to your question is it depends. So just have them apply, walk through everything with us, and then we can walk through the accident with him as well too, and see if it's within our hiring criteria. So great question. Awesome.
Going off questions as well, Courtney, I did see one coming in from John asking if Schneider assists with getting a Hazmat endorsement. And John, the answer is yes. So we do have a reimbursement program for Hazmat. Now, I know some accounts are excluded from that, so definitely need to, confirm on what account you're on regarding that reimbursement. But save all of your receipts, and then you can definitely submit those that we can reimburse you back depending on the account. We do not do reimbursement for like tanker or the other endorsements, but for Hazmat on most accounts, we do have that reimbursement program.
Great question. Great answer too. Kind of piggybacking then back to, we've been talking a lot about pay and reimbursements and stuff like that as well too. All of our drivers at Schneider are eligible for what is called performance pay. So basically how performance pay works is at the end of each full quarter, we look at your metrics for things like on-time delivery, fuel efficiency or fuel capacity, safe driving. And if you hit those certain metrics, you can earn additional pay to be added on to your weekly paycheck. So for those that are cents per mile, it's your weekly line haul pay. If you're on an account that gives you a base rate per mile, you can get a certain amount added to your weekly pay. With our teams, about 85% or so of our team accounts get some sort of performance pay. And we usually see that because a lot of people are, you got another buddy to make sure that you're logging everything correctly, you're getting to where you need to be on time, keeping your books up to date. So it's a really great opportunity to, if you're looking, like April mentioned before, you get a 50 cents per mile. It could be 54 cents per mile after you receive your performance pay. It just always depends as well too. So lots of great opportunities to make additional pay too. So Good, been good. All right. So a couple other things then too that we can kind of dive on into looking with our teams. April, if you wanted to touch on a little bit about kind of, what would make somebody choose a team driving position versus a solo driving position?
Yeah, definitely. So, I mean, the two biggest things that I think in my mind of why people choose teams is a lot of times if you have a significant other, a spouse, a boyfriend or girlfriend, or even a good buddy or friend that you really enjoy spending time with already. If you both have your class A's, I think it's a great opportunity because it's someone you already have a great relationship with, and I think could really run hard and well and make good money together. So that's definitely one thing that I see pretty often. The other reason I will say that I see a lot of drivers going into teams is especially for newer drivers. Hey, I just got my class A. I'm pretty confident, but I would really like to just have somebody else in the truck with me that if I have a question, at least it's somebody else to run, my idea past. Or, hey, can you watch, me back up while I, back up into this parking spot where we're at this truck stop just to make sure that I don't hit anything. It's almost like that reassurance in some ways, especially for newer drivers, to have somebody out there on the road with them. So if I had to say, those are probably the two biggest reasons that I'm aware of why teams is so favorable to drivers. And of course, the money. The money's good. So definitely a big thing there as well.
Absolutely. Yeah. I have plenty of two family members coming in. Next week, I have a uncle and nephew coming to orientation as a team together too. So that's super exciting. We can too, if you have your Class A CDL right now and family member, buddy, friend, whoever is going to get their CDL in a couple of months, at that time they can come and team with you too. So it's something that there's lots of options. Things are always open. So it's just a matter of finding timelines, what works best for you. I have another team that one person's experienced, one's inexperienced coming on board. So experienced orientation is shorter than inexperienced. So we're timing it out so that, somebody goes to inexperienced orientation right away. And then at the very last week is when the experienced driver will go to orientation, and then they'll end around the same time, get into a truck together, and then be on their way. So we have a lot of options, a lot of opportunities to do a lot of different things. Like there's really not much we can't do with teams, which is really exciting and really cool. So,
and kind of going off that as well, Courtney, one of the other big things with teams is, the home time. What are you running for a schedule? And to be honest, we have all different schedules across the board. I have seen some team positions here at Schneider where it is a home weekly. I've seen others where it's a minimum of 18 days out. Some drivers, heck, if they want to run, they can run for 42 plus days out. And then you're accruing all of that home time. That if you have a vacation plan for, a week, hey, here's a full 7 days off after running 42 days. So it really depends on the account. But there is a wide variety as well. The biggest thing to do if this is something you're really interested in, like we talked about before, is go to schneiderjobs.com, put in that zip code. A lot of drivers ask, why is that zip code so important? Well, where you're located and where you're calling home is where our planners are able to, then plan to get you home for the home time that we promise. So that zip code is very, very important, but put that in. It will filter all of the jobs that are available in your area. And then give us a call. We can always go through, the account in more detail, quote you your pay, explain your travel area. There's so much more that goes into it. So what you see on Schneider Jobs is a light summary, if you will, but there's so much more that a recruiter can definitely give you, in a 10, 15-minute conversation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Great question. And a lot of good questions coming in still. John asked, do you require trainers to be with drivers during the first month, even if they already have experience? So John, that's a great question. Our experienced drivers, we consider anybody with 3 months or more of tractor trailer experience to be an experienced driver. They do not need to be with a trainer when you come on board. We have a couple of accounts that if they're account specific, you might do account specific additional training. But for the most part, you will not need to be in a truck with a trainer when you're coming on board. So it's a very quick in and out, especially if you're hauling dry freight, in and out as quickly as possible. So good question. Victor also asked, he had asked a question before about the kind of different benefits that we have here at Schneider. So April, if you wanted to tackle just a couple of those kind of a highbrow.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely could do a whole video on benefits. I know we have in the past, so we definitely can do one of those in the future again too. But kind of high level, we definitely offer 401k. We have health benefits. We have dental. We have vision. So a lot of your your normal benefits within the company. We're probably a little bit biased because we work here at Schneider, but I think our benefits are phenomenal. They really take great care of us. Tuition reimbursement still kind of falls under that benefit as well. We also even have Schneider perks, which this might sound silly, but I think it's awesome, is once you're a Schneider employee, you can sign up for this perks. You get emails about all different discounts on travel or appliances and all these awesome, cool things where you just get the discount for simply working with the company. And I think it's great.
And we got here in Wisconsin, we have Sam's Clubs, or like a Costco, and we got a discount on our membership at Sam's from being a Schneider associate. So there's little perks like that too. And I know when you're driving as well, you can rack up certain points at different pilots or whatever it may be. So lots of cool options and opportunities. But a lot of great things coming in. Joseph's basically like helping us answer all these questions.
Thank you for that, by the way, Joseph. We do appreciate it.
Joseph, you could be a recruiter if you really wanted to. So if you want to come on back at some point when you're done with your driving experience or your military stuff and be a military recruiter, we got those available too. So we'll keep them in the back of our brains. Bob said, can you do a local account if I get my CDL through us, or do you have to do over the road right off the bat? So if you get your CDL through our apprenticeship program or a contract training program, unfortunately there aren't going to be home daily accounts available, but there are a variety of different options that you may have. And so not necessarily over the road, there could be some regional, there could be some dedicated accounts. We just recently started offering tanker driving positions through, some of the programs we offer as well too. So you're not just restricted to over the road. I get that quite a bit. I think a lot of companies must say, hey, if you're brand new, you got to be over the road for 3 weeks. It's not really how that goes. So it is something that we can, work with you with to find a good spot for you. So great question, Bob. And my Midwest came out of there. Sorry, my Midwest accent. All right, so lots of great questions coming in. A lot of great opportunities. We're chatting today about teams, all the different options and upgrades we've had recently within the last month and a half. We know it's been a very, very unconventional year, an unconventional time, but we have continued to move and roll. And that's what's really super exciting to be a part of on our end, when we're hiring drivers or working with transfer drivers, is that we haven't had to, say, oh, so sorry, we can't bring on board anymore because of this. That hasn't been the case. So that's been really exciting and awesome. And we have more freight now than ever, and just need the drivers to haul them. So I think teams and any other opportunity that you might want to look at in your area, definitely give us a call. So 1-800-44-PRIDE or SchneiderJobs.com. It has a lot of great info. So we'd love to have you give us a call, chat with us. We have a lot of great people in our screening center too that can help you out too. You're just kind of shopping around looking for something. So definitely feel free to give us a call. Awesome. I'll say bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.